Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Market Today, the last 1 hour of trade on this wonderful Tuesday afternoon. I'm your host, Shell Bhatnagar, and we'll be looking at the markets in threadbare detail. It's been a fine day ahead of what is a major global event slated to happen in the US markets on Wednesday night, which is the US federal rate cut, and its impact will be felt on Thursday morning in India. But for now, while most indices, the major ones, especially the Nifty and the Bank Nifty, have a nice retired kind of a day as far as Tuesday and Monday is concerned, but there is a lot of action that's happening on cash counters. About 1,000 stocks are in the green compared with 1,300 in the red as far as broader markets are concerned, and we have about 19 indices. Out of 10 of them are in the green, about 9 in the red. There is hectic activity in the cash markets. Recently listed Bajaj Housing, whose second day of outing it is on the secondary markets, is the top traded counter, up circuit as it was yesterday. About 4,400 crores worth of transactions have happened. The stock is up 10%. Another favorite of the market, which is Ola Electric, has a brokerage upgrade coming in from Goldman Sachs. The company's placed a target of about 150 to 160 rupees. The counter up 10% at about 180. And then you have the usual suspects, a large block deal happening on Tata Motors, which is now languishing about 1.5% higher at about 974. These are the top three most active counters. As far as strength is concerned, you see a lot of price expansion and volume happening in Mahanagar Gas Limited and Indraprasth Gas Limited. Both counters up nearly 4% on very heavy volumes of 5 times and 8 times respectively of its 5-day average. But what we'll do is that in this flat market, let's get some good views in. We are joined by Mr. Vineet Bojlinkar, Head of Research at Ventura Securities. Good afternoon to you, Vineet. What a lovely day to have you with us on the Lal Street. The major indices are resting, but a lot of activity in the cash counter. How do you see this second circuit on the upper side on Bajaj Housing? Is this justified as far as valuations are concerned?
See, what we have to understand is that Bajaj Housing is a high pedigree stock, and investors would want to have a piece of the action. So we are seeing a lot of buying happen in the stock, and we are seeing a second circuit come in. But I believe that we need to watch for what kind of growth trajectory that they are going to tell investors about, and then only we can judge whether this kind of valuation is warranted or unwarranted. But Bajaj typically, whenever they've listed, they've always gone into high growth, and with the kind of pricing that we are seeing, it remains to be seen, as I said, what they talk about in terms of growth. So to make a conjecture at this point in time and call it overvalued or undervalued would not be the right thing.
Fair point. So typically in this kind of a roaring bull markets, people want to buy the requisite quantity before the first quarter, whatever quarterly earnings come up for Bajaj Housing. Yesterday, which was the IPO listing day, about 9,900 crores worth of transactions were done. 50% of them turned into delivery. Today so far, about 4,400 crores worth of transactions is done, and most of the day the stock has been in circuit. So liquidity is available, but let us see how it goes in the first hour of trade when the stock was almost near circuit. About 2,200 crores worth of transactions have been done, and in the last 3-4 hours the volume has persisted. Coming to Ola Electric, Goldman Sachs starts this with a 12-month price target of 160. Vineet, this is about a 45% upside from current levels. Again, Ola is now back on circuit, up 10%. Is this a value buy at current levels, or you think this is overstretched?
So, last time, we've spoken on this stock on a couple of occasions. One was when it got listed. That time we said that, we look to buy it in the trade. And the next time when we spoke, that time the price was about 130, 140. We said price of around 105, 110 was a great opportunity to look at the stock. And the stock has exactly done that. It came into that zone, now back in circuits. So what remains to be seen is that, now there are only four major players who of significance who are going to be ruling this roost of the EV space. And with Frame 3 coming back, the momentum for conversions or buyers of EV two-wheelers is obviously going to go up. And so the four players who feature out here are obviously TVS, Bajaj, and Ola Electric, and Hero. All these have had sizable market share gains. And so if there are four players who are going to rule this roost, it's a very large market. 30% penetration in a 2 crore annual sales, in the next 6 years would mean that you're looking at a market of about 60 lakh vehicles, which is going to be a very, very big, each one garnering 15% share with a very high realization value. So I think the growth is there, the margins will come in, and if they get to steady state margins, then the stock will start climbing further. So I think Ola Electric is a buy on this trade.
Okay, fair point. And one thing I just now realize on hindsight, that this 70-80 rupee price zone, as far as pricing IPOs is concerned, is probably the sweet spot for merchant bankers. You've seen a phenomenal uptick on Ola on the first 2 or 3 days of its listing, and Bajaj Housing has also not disappointed. So these were the two, ladies and gentlemen, stocks which were both news driven because of brokerages, and of course event driven in the case of Bajaj Housing. Now Vineet, let's come out to the basic question that's been troubling everybody: a 25 basis point cut or a 50 basis point cut on Wednesday night by Wall Street? What is your gut feel?
I think it will be a 25 basis point cut. 50 would be, like a bit too much, I feel. Because you know what, they might go into a stagflation kind of scenario if they do rate cuts. First of all, they erred on the side of caution. They were very late in the earnings cycle to increase rates, and now when they're cutting rates, they're cutting it too soon. So the general view among global economists is that they could enter a period of stagflation where you will see interest rates come back with a frenzy. So a 25 bips is more warranted, because if you do a 50 bips cut and then you start raising once again, then you are going to be sending extremely volatile situation for banks to manage their ALM, as well as forecast growth of any sorts. So I believe a steady cut which gets absorbed, and then a second cut if necessary can be taken up. And that, to me, measured steps is a better bet than taking a leapfrog into wilderness.
Okay. Vineet, what do you think is the possibility that a 25 basis point cut in the rates is already priced across the globe? And do you think, is there a possibility, if at all, that there might not be a rate cut? And in that instance, how will global equity markets react?
So, a majority of people are on the side of the fact that, there will be a 25 bips rate cut. Now, if a 25 bips rate cut is the norm, and if you're looking at something which, you don't have a rate cut, then, you are going to see the markets behave very badly. So in either way, I believe that, if they don't have a rate cut, you will have a slam dunk immediately. And if they have a rate cut, then the markets will move up, make another high, and then kind of react, because the economy is actually dwindling at a record pace.
Okay, fair point. So this is what the broad cross section is, ladies and gentlemen. 25 basis percentage cut is priced in, and let's hope we sort of once the event happens on Wednesday night, we'll take a stock of it on Thursday morning as far as Indian equities are concerned. Vineet, already a very strong rally ahead of this rate cut in the Indian space. People are punting on real estate stocks on the long side. Broader markets are penciling in autos to be a bigger beneficiary of the potential rate cut in India as well. According to you, are these people running ahead of the event, or is this kind of a rally justified? Look at Bajaj Auto. I'm sure this Ola's report also has a positivity marked into it. But how do you suggest this when it comes to maybe the market in India running ahead of expectations?
So what we need to take into account is the fact that, as I said, there is a general consensus that the rate cut is coming. Okay, and the global economy is also getting soft. Second thing is that we are going to have a busy season coming, so volumes are going to grow. Okay, and we need to ease the credit cycle a bit. If we want to encourage growth in our economy. So to maintain your parity for the rupee, to see to it that your economy is well protected from unnecessarily high prices, what you will get is that the RBI following the global pattern in sync. And keeping that in mind, I believe that, the rates will be lowered out here. And that foretells a very encouraging sign for the second half. Now, if you notice, a lot of the textile guys were saying that, the first half was a curtailed festival season, and that the marriage season is going to pick up in the second half. So we are going to see a very buoyant second half for consumption. And behind that, all these stocks in the consumption space are doing really well.
Okay, fair point. And of course, this is the festivities. Bajaj Auto's management, I think 3-4 weeks ago, had mentioned that they're looking to sell 100,000 EV two-wheelers each month in this festivity. So let's hope that happens. And we've seen this stock doing wonders from about 5,000 rupees year 18 months ago. The counter has more than doubled and is now at a kissing distance of 12,000 rupees, fresh record high, needless to say, and a very, very peaceful uptick as far as journey is concerned within the F&O space for Bajaj as well. Hero Motors today sort of bursting at the seams, 3.5% higher. Again, a digit change in the offing, Vineet, for Hero Motors. This has been one of the laggards if you look at the long-term performance of two-wheelers. TVS has raced ahead. Bajaj is the top player. Eicher and Hero Motors have been left behind, but now the catch-up happening because of that Ether Energy IPO that Hero Motors subsidy has filed for 4,000 crore rupees. Does it merit your attention at now 6,000 rupees?
So I think it is one of the cheapest stocks in the two-wheeler space. And if you look at the Hero Motors overall pie of the trade, they have a very large pie of the 100cc bike, which is almost 40-50% of their portfolio. That itself is seeing a very strong growth come. So you're seeing growth which is there in the premium segment, which was always there. 110 also growth was always there, but in the 100cc to get good growth, okay, and sustainable at 7 to 8% over the next couple of years, is clearly telling you that the retail buying is back. And if the retail is back, then you are going to see Hero Motor be a bigger beneficiary of that entire thing. Good volumes, nice ASPs, and third thing is improving margins. So all these three with a very, very so Just look at it. If Bajaj is looking to sell 1 lakh motors a month, and if we assume that all the four players, large guys, have a equal stake, then between them they're selling about 48
Equal
lakh
share.
vehicles. Okay, they're selling 48 lakh vehicles, and then we are talking of 50 lakh vehicles. So actually, the penetration would be upwards of 25% already earlier than expected. Now, if we get that kind of a growth going, all these four stocks will look extremely undervalued to you in hindsight 1 year down the line.
Wonderful. And perhaps, that's the reason why you see this consistent uptick on Bajaj Auto. I'll request our PCR to fire the longer term chart of Bajaj Auto. I have been watching this stock for a while. In September, this has been the top performer in the Nifty, as also year to date. I'll check that data for you. But yes, this is a 1.3x rise in Bajaj Auto as far as prices are concerned. This is probably something which you are presaging that even 1 year from now you will see better prices on these stocks, and why not? This monsoon has been good. Hero Motors is typically a rural play that you mentioned, the 100cc category, and it's been years altogether. I'll request the PCR to fire a 1 year chart of Hero Motors. Let us see what is the return differential between Hero Motors and Bajaj Auto. Bajaj, of course, is at the top helm, and this is what you see. Not bad, 91% in 1 year as far as Hero Motors is concerned, but this is a late starter. You wanted to say something, Vineet?
No, I was just saying that there is enough space and more for these stocks to move up.
Yes. Okay, no issues. Now that the last time we had you, it was on 13th of September, and you had mentioned Himachal Futuristics as one of your telecom infra play at about 153. The stock will be right there in front of us in a while. But how about some other new names that you've researched or found out? Anything interesting that catches your fancy at current levels?
So we had initiated on Questcorp recently. Okay, there is a nice story brewing out there of value unlocking through demerger, and on top of that, you have government already putting out a good policy for job creation and subsidizing the investments that companies like Questcorp make in HR. So I think that that is another company which can do well. I think it has a 50% upside there. We also like Arvind Fashion. I think that stock is still not been recognized by the market. There is substantial growth coming there. We are strong believers that the Indian consumption story, which was dormant for a very long time, is going to be a revenge trade for the next 2 years. And we have not seen anything actually play out here in terms of price action. So we expect a strong price action to come here, and Arvind Fashions would be one of the biggest players, being very, very focused with a razor sharp discipline.
Okay, so Arvind Fashions, Quest Corp, and HFCL are the three stocks that Vineet had mentioned on 11th of September and 13th of September. We'll stick with them from his tally of potential outperformers. Vineet, over the last 3 days, we've seen a very strong traction coming into Bombay Stock Exchange. That's possibly because of the NSE IPO being sort of green flagged by SEBI in its decision making, and of course even the government is looking forward for that IPO to list at a record high now. Does BSE still merit an investment? We've seen similar rallies on MCX and IEX2. What is your thought process here?
I think it's a sentimental trade, and if you're in it, it's good. But I think really the benchmark pricing that NSE puts up now, will drive all these stocks, and I think the market is preempting that follow through that would happen post NSE listing. So we are seeing good traction happen in all these stocks. Of all the platforms, I would want to go with IEX because there we see that there's a clear 7-8 years of power deficit going to be there. So the volumes will continue to climb out there, and hence we like that stock much better, relatively more margin of safety compared to the other platform stocks.
Okay, so IEX will keep a track of course, the monthly power updates in terms of billion units traded on IEX have given a lot of hope to long-term investors, and the stock has also performed dramatically well from 140 to 220, I think, in a space of 6 months is what the back end move has happened. 2:52 p.m. ladies and gentlemen, let me just take a very quick detour into the market. You have strong moves coming into stocks such as Blue Dart. We rarely discuss this stock. 9,235. This is up 12% today. There is a very strong move coming in on stocks such as Himadri Special Chemicals Limited, 8% higher, 642. And of course, we have seen stocks like Varun Beverages being in heavy demand after the split that happened, the 1:1 split. The counter now at 684 rupees, still up about 3.8%. Amongst the best stocks which are a part of the cash market, I see Century Ply, 10.5% higher. This is 885 rupees. There is a strong move happening on Vector Foods, 5.5% higher, a fresh high, 1900 rupees. And Odisha Mines, 5% higher, 9128. These are the stocks that are meriting attention in the cash markets. And of course, in terms of new highs, so many of them we've already discussed. Vineet, there is a fresh move coming into ICICI Bank at record high levels. Is this again related to the rate cut thesis running across the board on the Lal Street, or is there something more to it?
Actually, you know what? It's a rotation of funds, as I told you last. In anticipation of rate cuts, we are having banking stocks move up, and with banking stocks moving up, I think ICICI Bank is also up there. ICICI Bank will be trading better off than the other banks because it's more of a conglomerate having a large degree of financialization, and all the other investment businesses are firing. So we think that ICICI Bank will get a better value than the other plain vanilla plays that are out there.
Okay, this, ladies and gentlemen, a fresh high, and ICICI Bank is also responsible for more than 3/4 of the gains that have come in on Nifty Bank today, where it's flat as flat can be, 64 points higher. But out of 64, nearly 55 have come in from ICICI Bank, which is now trading at fresh record peaks. What else interests you, Vineet, these days? We have seen a very sharp move coming in the entire sugar and liquor sector for changes that the government has done, removing or diluting restrictions for the use of cane towards making ethanol, and of course diverting it towards liquor. Within the liquor space and the sugar space, would you have any favorites?
So within the liquor space, we like Somdat Distilleries, SDBL, Som Breweries Limited, sorry. And we think that all the negatives around that stock are over. Beer is a great tippler for Indians now, and they dominating market share in various states. So I think this stock is underpriced and deserves to be re-rated upwards.
Okay, Som distilleries and breweries. Remember, there was this labor issue which had sort of created a lot of problems with the company. It was in the unlisted subsidiary of Som distilleries, but it was the listed space that paid attention, paid the price. Now at about 121 rupees, this is languishing against the very smart move that you've seen in Radico Khaitan, in Global Spirits, in United Breweries, United Spirits. All 4 or 5 listed liquor stocks have done phenomenally well, and you see this uptick coming in. Today's contribution on the Nifty, as far as points is concerned, is maximum coming from Bharti Airtel, 14 points, L&T contributing 9 points, ICICI adding 8, M&M and Bajaj Auto 6 and 5 points respectively. On the negative side, it's ITC, HDFC Bank, Tata Motors and Asian Paints that have come up with the number. Because Vineet is with us, I just want to check the price of Marksons Pharma. This is something that Vineet has suggested at 238 when he was with us on 26th of August. Well, it's now at a kissing distance of 300 rupees. So this is doing very well. You've recommended a hold on this one, Vineet, and valuations, are they expensive?
So basically, Marksons is actually factoring in FY27 earnings, and we are strong believers of the cash flow perspective. We do all our valuations based on prospected cash flows, and based on our model, we get a price about 300. That is not to say that the think that around these levels one should not be buying into it, and we run the risk of moving into a sideways market, which could be a 10% up or down kind of a trend for the medium term.
Okay, I'll request the PCI to fire a 1-year chart of Marksons Pharma. Even on 13th of August, which was about a month ago, the counter was at 191 rupees. So the rally has been very, very sharp, and over a year's period, I am sure the number is equally dramatic. Maybe 100% or more kind of an uptick, if I'm not wrong. Let's see what is the number that's coming in. Yes, 188%. So be that as it may, Vineet is right. No matter how good the financials are, stocks after they appreciate so much always run this risk of turning sideways into a time correction, and maybe Marksons is headed that way. But it's been a great rally for all those people who have held on to it. Vineet, before we let you go, any thoughts on maybe the FMCG space or the IT space, which might get positively impacted again, especially IT, given the rate cut around the corner on Wall Street?
IT has been doing rather well, and over the last couple of years, I've been I've been sounding alarm bells on this trend. You know what? If the rate cut happens and if there is a meltdown in the US markets, IT will also have to bear some brunt of it, because if you've seen the kind of rally and the way AI is progressing, there is going to be a lot of disruption out here, and I'm not sure how the trend would play out. And while their base is large, any sustainable growth would mean that they will continue to grow at the same pace in a best case scenario, even if I'm proved wrong. But I would be happy not participating in this trend unless you have a very, very compulsive story out here. So IT stocks are, buy with a tight stop loss kind of trade for me. As far as FMCG is concerned, I think they're going to have a great couple of years going out. So I think HUL, which is just showing signs of coming to life after almost 4 5 years, Gillette, Procter and Gamble, I think all these stocks can do really well going out ahead. The guys with exposure to Bangladesh would find the going a little difficult. So Marico and other companies with exposure to Bangladesh, we would kind of restrict ownership. But at the same time, I think Tata Beverages and Godrej Consumer uh, are great buys on that side.
Okay. Uh, Tata Beverages would be Tata Consumer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, yes, Tata Consumer.
Okay, fine. With that, Vineet, thank you so much, and we'll remember the reiteration that you have on Quest Corp, Arvind Fashion, and HFCL, and plus, of course, the note of caution on Markson's Pharma. With that, thank you so much for your time. And next time that we meet, we will have a rate cut at least on Wall Street, and life will be a little more exciting on Dalal Street. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a detour into the market, and in a very short while, Mr. Kunal Parar, technical research at Choice Equity Broking, will be joining us. We are at the last half an hour of the market. There is a modest sea of green, color of green across the Dalal Street. IT index is up 94 points, but the beauty of the IT index is that it has recovered very sharply from its day's low of 43,200, and it went all the way up to 43,620 intraday, and is now somewhere like 43,437. The other interesting part in the market at the moment is this very strong move that is coming on the auto space. Bajaj Auto taking it away 2.3% higher, 11,957. Given the trajectory that you have on Bajaj Auto today, let me just see if there is a blowout on the volume also. That will entail a check in the Nifty Auto Index and a shift towards this one. Okay, Bajaj Auto. 1 second, please. Yes, about 75% of 5-day average has been traded. So nothing much in terms of price, but volume, nothing much in terms of volume, but price is taking it away. I have this feeling that you'll see a digit change in Bajaj Auto, given the momentum that is with us. Let's get Kunal into the conversation. Good afternoon to you, Kunal. A very quick look on Bajaj Auto. What are the charts telling you?
Good morning, Sailji. Now, if we talk about the Bajaj Auto, stock looks very good on a daily chart. Recently, stock has given a breakout of its recent top. It has just entered into an uncharted territory, hitting all above its long-term moving averages with a positive volume activity. So we can see positive rhythm even from the present level. So it's buy recommendation from my side. If anybody want to get into the stock at present level 11,964. If we talk about SL side and downside, strict SL comes at 11,600, and upper side we may see a good upside momentum up to the level of 12,500 to 13,100. So yes, on a daily chart, Bajaj Auto looks very attractive.
Okay, and any two stocks that you feel make sense at current levels as far as charts are concerned? Any outperformance that you see in the market?
Well, one stock is aligned with the Bajaj Auto. Name is Hero MotoCorp. If you look at this Hero MotoCorp on a daily chart, same formation that we are observing right now, which is there in the Bajaj Auto. One Hero MotoCorp has given a breakout of its recent top. Has been trading in an uncharted territory, just entered into an uncharted territory with above positive volume activity, and the trading above all its long-term moving averages. So we can say we may see further upside momentum from the present level. Right now, stock is trading at 5,962. One can get into the stock with strict SL of 5,700. And if we talk about upper side, then the first target comes at 6,165, and the second target comes at 6,500. And if we talk about second one, then the second one is NCC. Right now, NCC is trading 316 level, and the way stock has been trading, the way stock has taken the support of its 100 days MA and its previous bottom, we may see a bounce back momentum from the present level. So NCC looks very good on a daily chart with strict stop loss comes at 308. If we talk about target side, the first target comes at 322, and if stock breaks this level 322, then further upside momentum would be there up to the level of 332.
Fair point. This is something that we haven't discussed much, but it's always good to have a new stock to be discussed in the trading setup. So NCC, ladies and gentlemen, please do keep an eye out on this one. The other brokerage report-led breakouts are happening on Mahanagar Gas and Indraprasth Gas. If you look at the futures market, very strong uptick in open interest, especially on Mahanagar Gas, 34.3% higher. Strong volume, strong price action. What are the charts telling you at Mahanagar Gas, Kunal?
Well, Selji, we have seen a very good upside momentum in the counter. No, it was trading at 1200 level. If we talk about in June, and afterwards we saw a good rally in the counter. But since last 1 to 2 months, this stock has been trading in a range bound momentum only. No doubt today stock is giving a very good upside momentum with winning gain of 5%. But still, CLG, I said to wait and watch, because if stock sustain above somewhere around 1915 level, it means we will see a breakout after this level. And if stock gives a breakout of this 1915, then one way momentum would be there up to the level of 2200. So rather to go prolong at present level, I think it would be wise to wait for breakout of this 1915.
Okay, fair point. We'll and it's always good to have caution injected in your daily trades. This is of course the first day of move, and on Mahanagar Gas we are now tracking it in terms of an all-time high trajectory, which was 1942. So a brokerage upgrade followed by very high volume and record high territory. These are all the signs of at least the stock to be on your radar on the long side. Let's wait for some correction to happen, and this is what we will look at. The interesting part I wanted to mention is that Mahanagar Gas in the FNO space is the fourth most active stock future, which is a rare occurrence, and that is why I thought we should bring this to your attention. Birla Soft, one of the mid-cap IT favorites, Kunal, is rearing its head up in gains. This has been a very trader-friendly counter, but of late has seen bad days. All-time high of 857, now at 200 DMA. Should we take a technical view on the long side, or should we avoid this one?
Well, daily chart is clearly talking about avoiding the stock, because since last 5 to 6 days, this stock has been trading in a range bound momentum only, and not seeing any particular direction as of now. So it's avoiding from my side.
Fair point. Anything else on the short side which you feel has structures breaking down, catches your attention?
Well, and short side one stock is there in which I have I'm like keeping eye on this stock particularly since last 3 days. Today is the third day of losing streak for this counter. Name is ITC. Stock has formed hanging bank candlestick formation, which is like a bearish reversal formation. Not only this, stock also form bearish engulfing formations, and from there we are seeing some sort of correction in the counter from its upper side level. Right now stock is trading at 575, 508, 507 level. One can go for short at present level we will keep our strict SL at 520. And if we talk about downside level, then first level comes at 497. And if ITC breaks these 497, then 488 would be there. So first shot from from the market is FMCG counters. It's ITC.
Okay, that's a troubling development because till about a week ago this counter was at 511 and of course headed was at record high territory, but such is life, what can happen. We'll keep an eye out on this one, but very strong rallies in the real estate space today. Look at how Prestige Estates is performing, 7.57% higher, and this is not how should I say, a singular move. You have Shobha Developers, its smaller rival in Bangalore, up 4%. There is a sharp move which is seen on Lodha Developers as well, although a bit of a intraday price correction has happened. Oberoi Realty at 1800 is doing pretty well, and of course you have a green tick on Godrej Properties too. Kunal, within the real estate space, what looks good?
Well, within the real estate space, actually, Prestige looks very good to me, and I was about to give this as a fresh recommendation instead of NCC, but I couldn't find any proper SL for going long in this counter. So recently Prestige has already gotten a breakout of its symmetrical triangle formation. Right now, it has been trading above its upper band of triangle formation, and from the present level, we can expect good sort of momentum on northward up to the level of 2060 to 2100. Right now, stock is trading at 1914. So if anyone have this stock in the portfolio, please hold these stocks. We see a good we may see good upside momentum in the counter. On the other hand, Godrej Property as well looks very good on a daily chart. The way stock has been trading since last few days. Today's stock is trading somewhere around 2858. Stock is a strong support of 2800 as well. So one can get into the stock with strict SL of 2800. Upper side first target comes at 3000, and if stock breaks these 3000, then one way momentum would be there up to the level of 3300.
Yes, this has the finest balance sheet in the entire real estate space, and has been one of those cornerstone stocks of portfolios of long-term HNI investors, and has rewarded patience very well. I remember Godrej Properties at about 1400 levels, languishing at somewhere like in October last year. So in less than how should I say, a year, from 1300 or 1400 rupees in August last year, it moved all the way up to 3400, and from then on a bit of a correction upon us, but one of those very strong quality balance sheets which have been very well how should I say, rewarded by long-term holders. What else is buzzing? 3:15. This is the last 15 minutes left of trade on Tuesday. Remember, tomorrow is the weekly expiry of Bank Nifty. Tomorrow night on Wall Street, you will possibly have a 25 basis point rate cut, which we will be reacting to on Thursday. That's also the weekly expiry of the Nifty. So lots of interesting things are lined up. This is as good a time as any to look at volume breakers on NSE 500. Two names come to my mind immediately. Blue Dart. This is a stock that we don't discuss given the high ticket size, 9,280. But I need to mention this because the volume is 12,96,000 shares, and this is 154 times the 5-day average. So a huge rally that has begun on Blue Star. All-time high is 96. Blue Dart for you, Kunalji. What are the charts telling you?
Well, chart looks very attractive to me. Right now, stock is trading at 9,285, and from the present level, we may see further upside momentum up to the level of 9,650. And if stock gives a breakout of this 9,650, further upside momentum would be there, even up to the level of 12,000 in a single stretch. So, no, daily chart looks very attractive, but Seiji, one main question is there: should we get into the stock at present level or not? So, I would say wait for the time being. If you have already, if you are holding this stock and it's already there in your portfolio, then please hold the stock. We may see good upside momentum in the counter, but it's not for fresh recommendation.
Yes, Kunal, actually the problem across the board is that it's very, very difficult. We had a gentleman on the research side about 20 minutes ago before you joined. The problem is that everything is trading now at FY26, FY27 multiple. So it's very difficult to suggest entry levels. And then the problem becomes that after you don't suggest anything, yet the stock keeps on rising because the liquidity is so high. Of course, it's difficult to suggest entry at 9200, but what is sensible to suggest is that if you have the stock, don't exit because better days are ahead. And this is, I think, the all-time high of Blue Dart is 9600 rupees. Let me just check that. Yes, 9600 rupees. And let us see what this week, next week, coming month has in store for Blue Dart. But breakouts happening on delivery, which is again a courier transport platform akin to what Blue Dart does. So these are some things that are breaking the volume barrier. I don't remember ever for Blue Dart to be in the top 5 traded counters on the NSE on volume. So about how much has been traded? 1200 crores worth of transactions have been traded on Blue Dart. Even if you add last 40, 50, 60 sessions, you will not get that kind of a volume on Blue Dart, but at least something is afoot. Okay, what else? Ola Electric, 10%, Kunal, not much of price history, but what are the charts telling you, if at all?
Well, really, right now stock is trading 118, and the way it has been trading on its early chart, I think one can get into the stock, but it has already hit its upper circuits, so there is no point to get into the stock because fresh entry will be there for fresh recommendation. But yes, if you have the stock in your portfolio, please hold the stock. Again, we can see upside momentum up to the level of somewhere around 132.
Okay, 320, and this is where we pause, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing to be done in the last 10 minutes of trade. We generally let institutions make the last 15-minute candle and the first 15-minute candle the next day as far as Nifty is concerned. Let me just try and wrap the market up. 25,417 for the Nifty. So 25,400 is what the Nifty bulls will capture. I wanted to see something interesting. Let me just see that yesterday's close was below 25,400. Day before yesterday, 25,400 below, of course. So today's close, if it happens above 25,400, will again be a new record as far as markets are concerned. Remember, over the last 3 sessions, the Nifty has turned sideways. It is not breaking 25,300 and it is not breaking 25,400 on the above. If this one happens today, then this trading range will expand a bit. Everybody and his mother are gearing up for this major event in our life on Wednesday night, when the US Federal Reserve will cut interest rates for the first time in many years. I want to see the pullers and draggers on the Nifty. Bharti Airtel contributing 16 points, L&T contributing 10 points, Bajaj Auto contributing 9, ICICI and M&M contributing 8 and 7 points respectively. What is pulling the Nifty lower? ITC 8 points negative, Tata Motors 6 points negative, SBI 3 points negative, Coal India and TCS about 3 points each. On a net level, the Nifty is up 28 points, flat as flat can be, 25,411. A quick one on Tata Motors, Kunal. There is a breakdown happening. A huge block happened at 1760 crores in the first 5, 7, 10 minutes of trade. What are the charts of Tata Motors telling you?
Well, Tata Motor has a strong support of 950 level. Even before it took the support of the same and went up to the level of 1180 afterwards. So from my side, one can get into the stock at present level with strict SL of 950. Upper side, we can expect a target of 1030, and if stock gives a breakout of this 1030, further upward momentum would be there up to the level of 1150.
Okay, fine. And at this level, would you have maybe 1 or 2 STBT or BTST calls that you would want to suggest to our viewers, or is enough?
Well, Selji, yes. Right now, I'm not seeing any chart. You just ask about the Tata Motors and I just pull up the chart, but afterwards, I'm not seeing any chart. So I won't suggest any BTST, STBT.
Okay, not a problem. It's sensible. There is not necessary that you trade or give views on the long or the short side. Now, again, I need to mark the Adani group. Lot of activity happening there on the long side. Adani's, you have Adani Green about 1% higher in trade today, which is 1948 rupees. Adani Energy Solutions is buzzing 1.3% higher, 993. These are the two counters that have shown positivity as far as the Adani group is concerned. Nothing at all buzzing in defense. All quiet as quiet can be. In fact, Hindustan Aeronautics 3% lower, 4458. Bharat Dynamics 3% lower, 1192. BEL 2% lower, 284. Cochin down 2. Masgaon Garden Reach down 1.5%. Consistent profit booking and delivery based selling happening in the 4 or 5 top defense counters. What is rail, stocks and space doing? Railtel about 1% higher today, 473.75. Ircon down 3% today, 232. Titagala Wagons down 2.7. RVNL down 2.6. That's how rail has shaped up. I think apart from auto, there is nothing great that has happened on the long side. Let me just look at the auto index today. I'm sure it's amongst the top gainers. Yes, 0.3% higher again, a flat trade, 25,900. Nifty Realty Index a third of a percent higher, 1063. So even if when indices are gaining, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing much to talk about, because people are apprehensive. The smart ones are booking a lot of profit ahead of this major event and are moving into cash. They are happy to buy market more expensive on Thursday or dramatically lower depending upon whatever happens. Kunal, even if you don't have a BTST or STBT, any sensible chart that you would like to bring to our attention for viewers?
Well, one stock is there which looks very attractive to me. It's Geo Finance. The way stock has been trading since last few days.
Yes.
Right now stock is trading at 350, above its 100 days moving average, and if we talk about the RSI also suggesting some positive breath is there in the counter. So from my side, if anybody want to go for short to medium term of trading, Geo Finance looks very attractive right now at 350 level. Downside strong support comes at 320, and upper side we talk for target of 376, and if it breaks then 400 would be there. So among others counter, I think Geo Finance added some extra brownies for creating a long position.
Okay, that's very well put. Let us see how this one comes up. One stock that we generally don't discuss is Thermax, but news being driven on Thermax that its subsidiary Thermax, Babcock and Wilcox have won a strong order flow. The counter is 5% higher. I am fairly certain it's a record high, and well, it's a blowout that's happening. The counter is not exactly at a record high, but still near a record high. 5,226, beautiful balance sheet and a top pedigree when it comes to the management. Kunal, would you hazard a guess on where Thermax is headed?
1,230, and from the present level, I can say it may march towards the level of 5,700. But again, not a fresh recommendation from my side. But yes, if you have this stock in your portfolio, hold this. You can see upside momentum up to the level of 5,700, and if stock breaks this level, then 6,200 would be there.
Okay, that's the price. Remember, the all-time high on Thermax is almost 6,000. No, it's just a moment. It's 5,817. We've seen that on 8th of July. The counter was at 200-day DMA, 4,325 just about 2 weeks ago, and from then on a recovery. A very well-known fund, Nalanda, has exited this counter. So just maybe you have that selling pressure that has abated, and the price is coming back on the upside. Okay, 329, ladies and gentlemen. Kunalji, thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to have hosted you, and of course we'll remember the structural breakdown in ITC and the strong buy call on Geo Finance from your side. Ladies and gentlemen, we are drawing a close on Tuesday, and Nifty will capture 25,400 for the bulls on the last trade. That's a positive development. Flat on Nifty Bank, which was on T-1 today. It has its weekly expiry tomorrow. IT index 62 points higher, 43,401, and the stars of the day today have been Bajaj Housing, 10% higher for the second day in a row, 4,419 crores worth of shares traded. Ola Electric, 10% higher, 1,880 crore shares worth shares traded. And of course the circuits that we have seen on stocks like Century Ply, on double-digit gains on Blue Dart, and counters such as Sudarshan Chemicals up 7%, and of course stocks such as Gulf Petro up 9% at 91.50. So it's a flat close, ladies and gentlemen, but more and more exciting things are happening on Dalal Street ahead of the main event, which is in Wall Street on Wednesday night. Tomorrow is likely to be a pause day, but it will be interesting to watch Bajaj Housing. Will there be a third upper circuit tomorrow? Only time will tell, and both Sakshi and I will be there to try and navigate those markets for you. Stay tuned to Business Today Television. There's a lot of other things happening post markets close on the other side of this break. Thank you for watching.
Rakesh ji, the Big Bang IPO will be debuting today of Bajaj Housing. Expectations from the grey market premium are that 110% premium is what it could be listing at. That translates to potentially 77 rupees of a profit over 70 rupees of an IPO price. How are you really looking at the opportunity that lies? I think a lot of retail investors have actually got the allotment, even though this was being seen as one where nobody probably would get their hands on because the demand was such. How would you advise the retail investor